Welcome to English 1301. I'm your instructor for the semester, Anthony Nelson. You can call me Tony, you can call me Mr. Nelson. Either one works just fine. I will respond to both. This is our Blackboard Shell. We will spend a lot of time here, so it's best to familiarize yourself with it first. As you can see, you have already opened up Syllabus and Required Materials and clicked on the appropriate video. Watch this video first. You're very clever and should be commended for following the instructions. You'd be surprised how many people don't. Also available in this folder are your syllabus, the required books, and a link to the bookstore. Now, if you want to buy the physical edition of your textbooks from the EPCC bookstore, that's how you do it. You click right here. It opens up this thing, and then it's going to want to know what campus you're at. Now, I'm based out of Valle Verde, so I'll just say Valle Verde. Then when I click submit, it wants to do all of this stuff. You have to get an account. Okay. Now, I don't need to purchase the textbooks because I already have mine. So I'm not going to do it. But you should probably go ahead and finish that if you're going to buy your books from the bookstore. And you don't want to go wait in line at the bookstore on campus. Now, you can buy the books from Amazon or Barnes & Noble. As you saw, our bookstore is actually run by Barnes & Noble, so, there's corporate greed for you. But you can also pick up the electronic editions of the books directly from the publisher, and that would be fine too. I don't care if you use the physical edition or the electronic edition. They are identical. You get the version of the book that is most affordable and most comfortable for you. So, figure that one out on your own. My only warning would be about one of the books, and we'll get there in a second. So here are the books. First of all is the Norton Field Guide to Writing with Readings, 5th edition, updated. Now, when you purchase this book, whether it's electronic or physical, it should have this nice green cover, say Norton Field Guide to Writing with Readings, and there should be a little seagull sitting on the letter T in 2. It should have 5E in a green circle, and it should say that it is the updated MLA and APA edition up in a black circle in the upper right-hand corner. If you buy this one electronic edition or physical edition, whatever. If you want to rent it for the semester, that's fine too. If you want to rent an electronic edition for the semester, that works too. This is a writer's reference, 5th edition, with writing about literature. This one, I don't really care whether you have an electronic edition or a physical edition, but I would suggest you buy it. Don't rent it. It'll cost you more in the long run if you rent it. Required of almost every career field, degree plan, etc. here at the college is both English 1301 and English 1302. And in both 1301 and 1302, you will be using a writer's reference with writing about literature. Because you're going to get 2 classes out of it, it's better if you purchase your own copy. Now again, it doesn't matter if it's electronic or paper. They're the same book. Now, the Norton Field Guide, you're only going to use it for 1301, so if you want to rent it, then rent it. If you're more comfortable buying it, then buy it. Up to you. To make sure that you're getting the correct copy of the book, there are these things called ISBN numbers. And for the Norton book, it's 978-0-393-88572-9. And for a writer's reference, it is 978-139-190 0. Now, throughout the semester, you'll hear me refer to both of these books. I tend to call this one Norton, and I tend to call this one either Hacker or the Writer's Ref. So please don't be confused later in the semester and say you don't know what I'm talking about when I tell you to look it up in the Writer's Ref. And please don't be that student who identifies, but you didn't tell me to buy the Writer's Ref, you only told me to buy the Norton Field Guide to Writing with Readings and a Writer's Reference. Please. Also, when I just refer to it as Norton, I mean the Norton Field Guide to Writing with Readings. Please don't assume something else. Okay. So those are your books. If you want to use the electronic editions while you're waiting on the physical books, that's fine. The publishers have a free trial program so that you can use them for something like 3 weeks without having to pay for the ebook. If you're going to buy the ebook, then that's great too. Okay? Either way. Moving on, this is your syllabus. We'll look over that in a minute. The course has been divided up into 4 modules with major headings of things that I want to focus on throughout the semester. First of all, storytelling through writing, then arguing a point, then analysis, then research. When you open up Module 1, you'll find that Week 1 is already ready for you. I should probably put this in student preview mode so that it looks like it'll look on your side. Give me just a second, and there we are. Now we're in student preview mode. Okay, so let's look at that again. Okay, so Module 1, you see how it's got this little dot, and it says this item will be marked completed once all the children have been completed. Now what that's telling you is that this is a parent heading, and all these things inside of it are child folders. Now, what that basically means is that they're folders within folders. And if we go another level, then they're folders within folders within folders. And we can do this ad infinitum. Okay. But it tells you when you finish things so that you know where you are in the course. Okay. So it'll be marked complete. You'll get a little green check mark when it's all done. Now, that doesn't mean you did good. It doesn't mean it's been graded. It doesn't mean you failed. It just means you finished it. It doesn't even really mean that you turned anything in. It does mean that you opened everything and you at least scrolled to the bottom. Doesn't mean you read anything. Doesn't mean you looked at the videos. Frankly, the check marks aren't very meaningful. However, you notice that Week 1 has an open bubble, which will be marked completed when all the children have been completed. And Week 2 has a padlock. That's because Week 2 is not available to you yet. Because this is only Week 1. You have to finish Week 1, and it has to be a certain date before Week 2 becomes available. In other words, you got to finish Week 1, and it has to be Week 2 before Week 2 becomes available. Let's look in Week 1. Here we have getting and setting up Microsoft Office and a nice external link, using Grammarly and an external link, using Zotero and an external link, how to use the discussion board, and your first discussion board assignment. Now, these 3 things, getting and setting up, using Grammarly, using Zotero, are videos that instruct you how to use these various products. And then finally, this one, how to use the discussion board, is also a video on how the Blackboard videos, or how the Blackboard discussion board works. You need to watch each of these videos, please. It's to your benefit to actually know what the hell you're doing with the products. Now, Microsoft Office is free. Use this link to get your free, see it's even in caps, free copy of Microsoft Office. Use your EPCC email when signing up. Download the appropriate version to your computer and install it. When I say download it to your computer, I will show you in that video that I mean download. Do not use the online version. It's not as powerful. You must use your EPCC email. If you use any other email, this isn't going to work and it won't be free. Grammarly is free, and it'll be premium. That means you, your parents, your husband, wife, sister, brother, children, nobody has to pay for this because the college pays for it for you. This is a premium copy. Use your EPCC email when you sign up. Any other email, and it won't work. And Zotero is free. It'll help you manage citations. This is not just useful in English, it's useful in every class that has you write a paper, which more and more these days is becoming every class. So you want to go through each and every one of those things. Now when you do, you click on it, and here we go. See, it shows you the link to the video. You can then open up the video, follow along, okay? When you go back, you see there's a little check mark there. And if I go to using Grammarly, I get a check mark, and so on. Now you'll notice I didn't actually watch the videos and I got the check marks. I know you can do that. I know that you know you can do that. So now that we both know that you can do that, actually watch the videos and read all instructions. Don't seek to just complete this week's assignments or get a check mark. Seek to actually do the work and learn something. Now up here you notice that this open bubble has turned into a half filled in bubble. Now that means that I'm not done with week 1. And module 1 also is half filled in. So when I go through and do everything I'm supposed to do, which in my case I'm not actually going to watch my own videos or anything like that, and then click on the discussion and start your discussion board. You see that just clicking onto introductions was not enough. I have to actually come in here, type a response, and do my thing. Once I've actually got it posted, that half bubble will turn into a check mark, and likewise week 1 will turn into a check mark. Now week 2 will be available next week, week 2. The last thing I want to cover today in this video is your syllabus. Now I'm using here the general syllabus for all of my sections of 1301. In your particular shell, you will find the exact syllabus for your class. What you need to understand is that the general syllabus and the exact syllabus are pretty much the same thing. The biggest difference is what the CRN is, and there's a Part 2 syllabus attached to your specific one. Other than that, going through this one, it's the same policies, the same everything else. So at the top of the syllabus, and this is going to be the same for every syllabus here at the college, you're going to find what course it is, who's teaching it, how to get a hold of them, where the office is, when the office hours are, etc. The texts you need for this course are Richard Bullock and Maureen Daly Goggins' Norton Field Guide to Writing with Readings, MLA 2021 and APA Update, 5th edition, by W.W. Norton, or published by W.W. Norton and Company. The ISBN right there. See it right there. Diana Hacker and Nancy Summers' Writer's Reference with Writing About Literature, Documenting Sources in MLA 2021 Update, 10th edition. And again, your ISBN is there. You're also going to need a college dictionary. I haven't put one on the required list as to which one you should buy. If it says college dictionary, that's the one. You can buy Webster's, you can buy Oxford, you can buy, I don't know, American Heritage. I don't care. As long as it is a dictionary that identifies itself as college dictionary, you're fine. One thing you need to be aware of if you use the brand called Oxford is do not buy Oxford English Dictionary. Just don't. I know that this course is called Expository English Composition. That's because the language we speak is English, only it's not. And the Oxford English Dictionary is a dictionary of English words. And we're not actually speaking English. I am not speaking English to you. You are not listening in English. This is not English. Now, before you start yelling at the screen that I'm an idiot, I'm not an idiot. We're speaking American, and the two languages differ by a bunch. They sound the same. They share a lot of the same lexicon, but they really do have different words that mean different things, and using a dictionary intended for English college students instead of American college students can be problematic. Also, the spelling systems are different. So just pick up a standard college dictionary. Don't try to impress yourself with the OED. Next, you must, and I mean must, have Microsoft Office. Don't bother with asking or trying to use Google Office, Google Writer, Apple anything. Don't bother with Apache or any of the free ones. I mean Microsoft Office. Microsoft Word will use Grammarly and Zotero natively. Everything else, it's not going to work right. I can provide you some tech support on Microsoft Office. I will provide you none for any other product. The other reason you really want to use Microsoft Office is because when you upload your papers into Blackboard, it's going to look for docx formats, and it can read those, and if it can read them, I can grade them. You want a grade. I promise. If I cannot read the file because you uploaded the wrong kind of file, I'm not going to grade it. You will get a big fat 0. Before you start screaming about unfair, this is just following directions. Honestly. And since Microsoft Office is free, you have no excuse, so use it. EPCC email is also a requirement. You cannot expect me to respond to you from any outside email address. If you want to know about your grades, you want to know about what you missed in class, you want to make office hours appointments, you want to do anything over email with me, then you need to use your official EPCC email address. I don't care how many other email addresses you have. Make sure you use that one when communicating with us at the college. A really big benefit to using that address is financial aid and the registrar's office and announcements will all go to that one anyway. And you really want to read the stuff from financial aid and the registrar's office and all that. So read your EPCC email because you never know, there could be something important in there. And use that to contact us. Now, I'm not being a prick about I won't respond to you from something else. There's like a state law to protect you that means you have to use that email address. Basically, if you email me from, jsmith@gmail.com and say, "Hi, it's me, Joe Smith from your English class. Can you tell me what I got on my last paper?" And I say, "Hi, Joe, yeah, you got an 85. That violates your rights as a student to privacy. Because I can't verify that the person at the receiving end of that account is actually Joe Smith in my class. But if you write to me from jsmith@epcc.edu and I see that that's the same email address on my roster, then I can verify that that's the same person. And now I can communicate with you legally. I'm fond of following the law because, I like my job. Not worth losing it. So, and in humorous stuff, I did once have a student write to me from his Gmail account, and I let everyone know that somebody wrote to me from a Gmail account, and I let them all know what the Gmail account was, and that was the last time he wrote to me from that Gmail account. Because that Gmail account was sexybeast6969@gmail.com. And I got to tell you, if he thought he was going to embarrass me, it failed. But I know exactly who did it because the day that I went into my classes and told them, whoever the hell Sexy Beast 6969 is, no, you're not, and you need to contact me in some other way. I know who it was because they turned bright red. So, don't be that guy. You must use Grammarly. Grammarly is an indispensable program. There will be more on that on the Grammarly video. Now, this semester, you will have to write a minimum of 4 major essays or other writing projects. Each one will be approximately 3 to 5 pages. You should expect to spend some serious time revising and editing everything you write for this class. Don't turn in raw draft. Turn in finalized product. It matters. Now, your first essay is 20% of your grade, as is your second one. From there, the stakes go up. The third one's 25% of your final grade, and your fourth one is 30% of your final grade. This means that homework is worth 5%. Now, that may seem to you like, well, I can start ignoring homework. Nope. 5% matters. 5% is the difference between a mid-grade B and an A. It's also the difference between, man, you just almost passed, and passing. So do your homework anyway. Grade range is the college standard, 90 to 100A, 80 to 89B, 70 to 79C, 60 to 69D, and below a 60 is, well, let's just not. Let's stay in the 70 to 100 range. Try to do an A. Don't try to get a C. Try to get an A. Then if you let yourself down and you try your very best and it's still not quite an A, you're still probably passing. But if you only try for a C and you don't quite make it, it's just bad news. Course policies. Participation is expected. If you don't log into Blackboard and participate in the course every week, if you don't show up to class, if you're in a face-to-face, you're probably not participating, which means that I might drop you. I may drop you if, under the guidelines established in the course catalog, I determine that you have ceased to pursue the course objectives as stated in the course syllabus. Late work. Probably not going to happen. Okay. Sometimes you will have a really good reason, and you will be able to prove to me your really good reason, and I'll take your late work. most of the time, you're not going to have a really good reason. You're going to have some lame-ass excuse. Don't bother with a lame-ass excuse. If you've got a good reason why whatever it is going to be late, try me. I'll listen. Doesn't mean the answer will be yes, but it might be. If you ask, the answer just might be yes. Now, it can also very well be no. But if you don't ask, the answer is automatically no. Academic dishonesty will result in failure and disciplinary action. I have a pretty good sense of humor about a lot of stuff. I have no sense of humor when it comes to academic dishonesty. None whatsoever. If you plagiarize your work, I will catch you. If you copy someone else's work, I will catch you. If you have someone else write the paper for you, I will catch you. I will be pissed. I will immediately give you a 0 that cannot be made up on the first time you do that. Should you do it a second time, I will send you to my dean. You will be removed from my course, and you will not be coming back. I will ask him to start the disciplinary procedures against anyone who does that to me. So don't. Don't cheat. You know what cheating is. Don't do it. As far as behavior and etiquette go, look, just be polite, be courteous, be respectful to each other. In a nutshell, be cool, man. That's it. Everything, and I mean everything, will be turned in over Blackboard. Do not come running up to me with a paper, wave it in my face, because like a normal human, I will take the paper you're trying to hand to me, but then I'll look at it, realize what you're trying to do, and hand it back to you. If you don't turn it in over Blackboard, you didn't turn it in. Don't email it to me. Don't try to send it through campus mail. Don't hand it to me. It gets turned in over Blackboard in the appropriate place. Period. You must turn it in either DocX or PDF format. Those are the only two that the grader will work for. The inline grader does not work on any of the other file formats. Let me make that very clear. It will, Blackboard's inline grader will allow you to turn in a myriad of other file formats, but it won't allow me to grade them. And if I can't grade them, then you can't have a grade. Wouldn't it just be easier to do it in Microsoft Word, turn it in as a docx, and call it a day? That way you do get a grade? I think so. Now, before we move on to the calendar, here's some hints for success. Keep a copy of all your work. Okay. An external USB flash drive is a really good thing. Backup is your friend. There's been a phrase in not only software development, but in video gaming for a long time. And that is save early, save often. And that applies to you as writers also. Save early and save often. Because when the computer crashes, you want to have to redo as little as possible. Okay? And you need to have a plan for when the computer crashes. Because maybe it's been working really well for 5 years, and it's not even turned its little eye towards crashing. And as soon as you depend on that for a course and you're right up against the deadline with like a midterm or something, it'll crash. And the reason is because it's a bastard. Now, maybe you just bought a new laptop and you know it's not going to crash this semester, except it will right when you need it the most. Why? Because it's a bastard. So you need to have a plan. Okay, now the labs are all over the various campuses. Get to the closest ACS lab to you. That's the Academic Computing Services labs. Make sure everything you have is backed up. That way you can continue working. Now, as far as the discussion board goes, treat it like you would an academic conversation in the classroom. Don't treat it like text messaging. Use complete sentences. Something I learned last semester that I have to specify. Use complete words. Also use complete sentences. Paragraphs are nice. Punctuation is required. And capital letters at the beginning of each sentence and for the first person personal pronoun are pretty much mandatory. You need to say something substantial. So about a paragraph or two. When you're directly talking to another student, don't just say, yeah, I agree. I like that. Use their name and a salutation. Something like, hi, Joe. I like how you described that the writer's reference has a plastic comb spine. I find that my plastic comb spine keeps coming off the book. What are you doing to keep yours on? That is a much better response than, yeah. Okay? Be polite to one another on the boards. It matters. As a rule, be polite. Now, when it comes to anything you're going to turn in this class, in any class, ever, don't wait until the last minute. Start working on whatever the hell it is as soon as it's assigned. If you put it off to the last minute, it'll show. Now, I personally give you plenty of warning for when things are due. So start working on assignments immediately. You'll do much better. Also, you think your instructors cannot tell that you stayed up until 4 o'clock in the morning typing that paper out that you started at 11 o'clock in the evening that very day before it was due. We know. We can tell. Now, this is the calendar. And readings in red refer to the Norton Field Guide. Readings in dark blue are from the writer's reference. It's listed out by dates. Every week has a range of dates. Tells you what the readings are for the week and the page numbers or section numbers. Now, when you look at this one here, Walker, but yet and still the cotton gin kept working, and then in parenthesis Blackboard, means that reading can only be found on Blackboard. Don't bother asking me, well, where do I find the reading? It's on Blackboard. Right here, Memoirs 224 to 232. Don't ask me, where do I find the reading? It's in red. So it's the Norton Field Guide on page 224. It finishes on 232. Now you think I'm being a jackass, except these are questions I hear every single semester from multiple students. Readings in dark blue refer to the writer's reference. So right here, MLA section, all of it, in dark blue. That must be the writer's reference. Your calendar is broken down by weeks. I cover important dates over in this column. For instance, September the 6th is an institutional holiday. September the 16th, no class. November 11th, no class. November 25th and 6th, no class. Isn't that nice? There's lots of days with no class. And then finals week, your research paper is due. Okay. All your due dates are listed. Narrative paper, argument paper, critical analysis, they're all listed. So you don't have to ask me, hey, Mr. Nelson, when is my argument paper due? Well, it's right there on your syllabus, October 9th. It'll also be listed somewhere on Blackboard. Okay. That's your syllabus. Now, regarding Blackboard, this is the calendar, right there where it says calendar. It will list all of the due dates for things. Discussions are where you find the discussions. Gradebook is where you find your grades, and messages is how you get a hold of other people. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. I'm always here to help. Anything you got that I can help you with, I'm happy to do so. For now, I want you to look around on the course, poke around, see what you can see, go through Module 1, get those programs, and get your first posting done. And then figure out how you're going to get the books. Okay? Have a wonderful day, and watch the next video.